Where's the seal right here? No, good, thank you. Sure.
Do you mind? Thank you. I'll shut it when I get cold in 5 seconds.
Because she's so young. Yeah, that's right. So you heard glass of coffee? Just hit the bottles today. It's true. Sorry.
A year, wow. We see it possible. It is, very. That's from actually getting into it, not just getting into it. Wow,
Unbelievable.
that's crazy.
She's a smart aleck, but also she's just so. She's just like. We're gonna take her.
What's your name? Last night was 8, but that's no longer over, right?
Oh, they are.
That modern looking at her, yes.
Okay, so they're.
Don't worry, there's signs and everything.
Okay, it's 3 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We can stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, so we needed to call this meeting because the Board of Education had a meeting on Thursday evening and ironed out the details of what we've been working on with them. In order to get this to referendum and do what we need to do in a timely manner and make the deadline for tonight's Board of Finance meeting, we needed to have this meeting before 6:30 tonight. So due to conflicts in schedule, that's why it's being held at this time. So basically what the Board of Education did is they voted to donate the property directly to the Haddam Land Trust. Therefore, we don't need a town meeting. So another reason that we're having this meeting is we voted on having meetings and we voted on certain motions at our last meeting. So that is to correct everything that we did at our last meeting in order to move forward with this process. So again, just so everything's clear for the record. So because the Board of Education is going to donate the property of Swan Hill directly to the Land Trust, we do not need to have a town meeting on the Land Trust. So we had talked about having a town meeting at some point in time. We don't need to do that because it's going to be conveyed directly to the Land Trust. They also made a motion to sell the property due to the right of first refusal of the building of the 10 acres around. We were all given this map at the last Selectmen's meeting last Monday night by the town planner. I sat with Bill Cowan and showed him the options of what the Land Trust would want for access. I actually sat and met with him last Tuesday. So they're looking for this block, a big box, to sell the building and the box of 10 acres around. And again, just to refresh everyone's memory, some people weren't there because of the natural divide of the water going through. Again, that was what was recommended to separate the properties. So we need to decide or vote to send to referendum. And in the spirit of what the Board of Education had done, despite they never filed the resolution to the land, the intent was for those people at the time to give the town a right of first refusal. So we need to vote to set a public hearing date. Unfortunately, due to conflicts with scheduling and people being present, we had voted that we were going to do that meeting the week of April 22nd. That does not work. So I'm looking to do that meeting on Wednesday, May 1st. Same thing at the firehouse at 6:30 and the building is available. So if we can have a motion to set the public hearing for discussion of purchasing Haddam Elementary School for May 1st at 6:30. So if I can have a motion
I'll
for
make that
that.
motion. May 1st,
Yeah,
Wednesday.
And-
What time?
6:30, because we said 6 would be too early and 7:30 we afraid would be too late.
Okay.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. From there, we have to have a referendum on purchasing the property. The referendum question will read as follows. Shall the town of Haddam purchase from Regional School District Number 17 the Haddam Elementary School building and surrounding 10 acres, more or less, for the purchase price of $450,000 to be paid to the Regional School District Number 17 over a 3-year period in equal annual installments starting in fiscal year 2020. So that would be the question that we will put to the voters. And since referendums are usually held on a Tuesday, I checked with the town clerk, and Tuesday, June 4th seems to be the date. We have to wait 30 days in order to do that.
One correction
So-
in that motion though, you said fiscal year 2020, I believe it's 2021. They said at their meeting that the first year they would hold us harmless from any
Right.
payment. So that would be the 20,
We wouldn't make a payment
21.
till 2020. It would be the 2020, 2021.
right, you said 2020.
Well, it says fiscal year 20.
So it's fiscal year 21, we always use the last date,
Well, I
the last
didn't
year.
write the motion, so I need to see what the minutes say. I knew they said we didn't have to make it this year, we can make it next year. So let's make the motion to be over a 3-year period in equal annual installments starting July 1, 2020. All right, have approval for that motion.
I'll make that.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. At the Board of Ed meeting on Thursday, Superintendent Howard Theory first said that you said you didn't want the land for free. Then he said that he was shocked that you didn't want to have him pay just Killingworth's share, which what he said was $189, and that you wanted to pay the full price. I'd like an explanation for that, if you could.
I didn't want the land for free?
Yeah.
I never said that. When did I say this?
No, this is what Howard Theory said on Thursday night.
Why would I say I didn't want the land for free?
That's my question.
No, they offered to sell us the land for $200,000, and I said absolutely not. Killingworth wants their share, that's what this is all about. And I refuse to pay any money for Swan Hill. Swan Hill
No,
should
not
be.
Swan Hill. This is, we're talking about the referendum question, right? For HES?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Howard Theory said, and I quote, that you didn't want, you can watch the video if you don't believe me. First, he said that you said you weren't gonna take it for free. This is the HES property, not Swan Hill. Swan Hill's done. That you weren't gonna pay just Killingworth's share, that you wanted to pay the full $450. He said that 3 times at the meeting.
that's not true. The attorneys worked it out, Killingworth's attorney. The
I didn't see
difference-
that in there. I
No,
didn't
no,
see it, but I-
The difference was were we gonna pay $450, which 58% of that comes back to the capital plan for Haddam, and 32% of that goes, or 42% of that goes back for Killingworth. It became a question of, were we just gonna pay the net difference to the town of Killingworth, or are we gonna pay the whole price? And the attorneys all agreed that we needed to go the $450 route. I didn't come up with that.
That's what Howard Theory said.
Well-
So maybe you should talk to
Listen,
him and
I don't need
correct
to do anything with Howard Theory. This is the motion, I know what I said, and this is what we're doing. If you don't want to go to referendum on it, we can vote no right now.
that. Okay, well then Mr. Theory must have been misinformed then.
When did I have this conversation with Howard Theory?
I have no idea, I'm just saying,
No.
I'm quoting what Howard Theory said 3 times at the last
Well,
meeting.
I can
Well, that's
tell
a
you.
question that should be brought to him, not
Yeah,
us.
not me.
Well, I'm asking
Right.
because this is what I heard on the video.
Okay, well, that should be, we should push that right to him
Yep,
and ask him
I
that
agree,
question.
I agree. The other question is, I'm curious why you're going to referendum. since you're-
Because I think that the taxpayers need to make a decision on this, and that people should be able to vote on it. It's a very important topic, obviously, there's a lot of opinions about it, and I think that either we don't do it. I'm not in favor of purchasing this property. I want that on the record. I don't think the town can afford it or the carrying costs. However, it's what's happened, and I think it's up to the taxpayers. So that's why I want it to go to referendum.
I was just curious, because you were usually adverse to.
I don't like spending money at referendum, and I'm happy to vote no towards this, so that if that could be my vote. But I think that in the spirit of what the previous people on the Board of Education wanted to do, that this is the process we need to go through, and I think it's up to the taxpayers to decide what they want to
Give
do,
everybody
not
their
the three
voice.
of us. I'm personally not in favor of it. I don't think we can afford to have another empty building, but this is what people seem to want, so let people vote. And I don't think it's right to stack a town meeting one way or the other, and I think that there's a lot of seniors that have a say in this, and I think the seniors need the opportunity to come out and vote.
The other problem is that we don't have a clear, the motion is very nebulous, because we don't have a clear sense of what the property is. We don't have a map number, a lot number.
There's been a deed that's done out, and everyone's been in agreement. The Killingworth Town Attorney, Dave Tice, Kathy Eno, Rich Corella, and the town planner has done mapping. We don't need to pay for a survey, because that was the other thing I didn't want to spend the money on. But there's natural division of boundaries around where the wetlands come in, which makes sense for how the property be broken out. It's plus or more 10 acres, it's the way it's divided. And it'll go in as a deed when everything passes through. But for right now, it's one piece of property, we've already discussed that. And this is the easiest way to handle it to get it done.
It's fine for us in discussion in a selectmen's meeting, but when you're talking about sending this to the voters and putting on a deed, you can't just say plus or minus, do you buy a house, plus or minus 5 acres? That's not how you conduct a real estate transaction. Plus or minus 10 acres could be 20 acres, could be 2 acres. I really think we need a detailed, if not a survey, maybe just a survey of the 10 acres around the school.
All right, well, that will not allow us to be in time. If you want to do that, that's fine, but the Board of Education has set a time frame for us to be able to get this done. The Board of Finance does not meet again until May 20th. Again, the reason why we're doing this right now. So if you're not happy with that, then vote no.
It's not that I'm not happy, it's very disorganized, and the board.
Well, you know, Melissa, I had
Can I finish my statement, please?
3 hours, no, because I'm just gonna tell you, I had 3 hours to turn this around and to be able, excuse me, do I need to empty the room?
No, I think you need to allow me to
I think
finish my
We're
statement.
talking during, I don't care what you think.
I can tell.
We're talking, so do you wanna leave?
No, I really want to be here.
Okay, good.
Okay,
I
and
said,
let's-
then I
I
said
suggest you
$10,000
be a
that I'm sitting
It's
in.
not public
Right,
comment,
we are
I
talking at
suggest
this
you be
point,
quiet.
please.
Go ahead, finish your statement.
I had a short period of time from their meeting to turn this around, to be able to get to what we need to do to vote to send this to referendum. If this doesn't happen today, for us to forward it to the Board of Finance tonight, then we're in jeopardy of the Board of Education moving forward with their plan.
The problem is the Board of Education did not give us, I don't know, countless meetings, they still didn't give us what we need. I'm shocked that their attorneys and our attorney did not want a specific acreage or at least boundary lines or something. I understand the creek would be a natural boundary line, but again, it's not 1854. We don't buy property from this stone wall to this stone wall anymore. But that's fine if this is something
Well,
that the Board of
are we
Selectmen
not getting
goes
what everybody wanted? Are we not letting everybody?
It's what we want, but
Oh, okay,
we
so
need
let's work on that as it
specifics.
goes on, but let's at least get this
We
thing
will definitely
rolling. Why are we
have-
gonna sit here and just stonewall everything? It just makes, let's get it
It's
done.
not so wrong, he's doing it the right way.
Scott needs this question 3 weeks before we actually go to referendum. So we can tweak and have another selectman meeting to clean this up, if that's the case. This is all gonna come up in the public hearing on May 1st anyways, and the boundaries will already have been done by then. This was just a good intent to try to get this to go to the next level, so that everybody would be happy with what we were doing.
So who's gonna be doing the boundaries then for the?
So we don't need, Bill Warner's working on the boundaries. He's working on the deeds and he's working on the boundaries of where these fall, so that we don't have to pay $15,000 for a survey.
So the deed will have specific
Of course
land
it will.
information.
Of course it will.
And I also would like to add that 450,000 is nothing compared to what RAC, should they go forward with this deal. I added up $645,000 that they would get in tax benefits and also
That's not for
building
us
fees.
to decide, that's a Board
No, no,
of
I'm just,
Education
I'm
thing
adding
to
that to the
decide.
record, that $645,000 are actually getting paid to take this property, while we're paying for it.
What is that,
50,000.
654?
What are they getting
Permits, are
paid?
you talking?
No, that's their tax abatement and that's their building
A tax
permit
abatement has to be
Well-
approved by the taxpayers.
Of course.
And a tax abatement, so we're not even there.
Right.
I'm just
That
saying.
isn't-
Because I don't
This is-
agree with, with permits.
But again,
I pay permits in
What about
town.
tax abatements?
You know what, how can we not? How can we did it for the River House.
and Kokomo.
How can we not? I mean, you gotta give them something,
So you're willing to give them $546,000?
if that's what has to be
Not a
done to put
$6
something
million
in there.
investment?
Well, I mean, come on, we did it, everybody voted on it the other way, and it's not just me. That's what we're trying to do. Are we trying to let everybody vote on
Putting it
this?
into
That's what it's all about,
Okay,
okay?
thank you, Larry.
That's what it's all about. It's not for me or you to make that
No, you're
decision.
absolutely right.
That's the whole reason putting it
And
out.
that's why we're going to referendum. It's not up to the three of us, it's up to the taxpayers to decide what they want to do.
And if they say no tax abatement, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But I want to make it fair for them as well as the other two big lots that we did it for.
Right, I'm just putting it in context of what we are purchasing it for. So, okay.
All right, so, are we good? Any other discussions? All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Little cosmetics project. No tax abatement, so it's just the streamlining permit process.
Okay, well, so the other one got it, so. And I didn't say it was for it. I said, let's give them a chance. If you can vote it down if they don't want it.
Well, I'm not of your concern. Thank you. None of my concern. It's none of your concern. No.
Don't worry about what those boundaries are.
From this fly on the wall to this, it's so much name that doesn't care what the voters have to say. Look at that.
I charged you before I came. I love it. I tried to teach you. Well, everything is just easier to write. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, when it comes to notes and stuff, I like to just write everything, and then if I need to type it up later, I have it. Good notes. Good notes. Good notes.